Hey everyone, this is Nathaniel Wright from D-Pad Entertainment, and if you're looking into starting up a podcast, then Anchor is the place for you. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. For one, it's free. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the D-Pad Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Nathaniel Wright, aka Sergeant Crack. Today I'm here with my guest and one of my close friends for how many years?
It's been
almost
about
20 years?
20 years. Yes, it's
20 years,
been a
man.
long time. Starting back since 2001. So
Oh,
19
shit.
years.
Holy fuck. Jermaine Clarke, oh man, photographer, gamer, best shooter player I ever seen in my goddamn life. Best fucking shoot 'em up player I ever seen in my life. I've never play Ikaruga and not shoot a bullet and beat the whole game. Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing.
You know, it's crazy you mentioned that because whenever I play like shoot 'em up games like Ikaruga and Gradius and excuse me, R-Type Delta, what I do is I say to myself, I wonder what this game will allow me to get away with. And so I'm like, you know what? I wonder what happened if I don't shoot any bullets. and sure enough, I mean, it like in Ikaruga, except for the second stage, because like you got to shoot the barricades.
Oh, that's right.
You
Yeah,
know?
that is right.
But
Yeah.
other than that, no, just turn into the appropriate color and absorb them damn bullets, and just wait. And just wait for the boss timer to go down, and the boss runs away. The boss be like,
no fucking sense.
the boss be like, man, screw this.
I'm out. I got cooked dinner.
Exactly. But yeah, man, it's been 19 years, and
19.
it's been like a hell of a roller coaster ride since then.
Oh man, forget it. And it's been a fun roller coaster ride. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, exactly.
I won't change a goddamn thing.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But yes, I'm a photographer, gamer. I've been studying game design. I hope to insert myself properly into that particular industry within the next couple of years. And I've been fortunate to meet a lot of industry greats like Miyamoto, Keiji Inafune, Kaz Hirai from Sony Entertainment Japan. I've met a lot of cool people. Jamie King and Sam Hauser when they was I think they're still with Rockstar.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate.
That's good. That's great, man. That's amazing. Actually, that's amazing. A lot of people, not many people don't meet any of the veterans of the gaming industry.
Yes, believe me, I know, because I was one of those people. I'm like, man, I want to meet them sometimes, and it's just one of those things where you have to go where they go. So
yeah,
you know, if because I met Kaz Hirai during the PlayStation 2's launch. At GameStop on 33rd Street and Broadway in New York City. And I've always said I would love to work in this particular GameStop. And through the grace of God and having awesome friends like you and others, I've been able to build up my resume, and eventually I did ended up working in the GameStop on 33rd Street and Broadway, and I've met so many other interesting individuals in the gaming industry because of it. And I mean, that's just the main thing. You have to go where, the industry insiders go. So
That's right.
So that's where they were, and with you guys and other friends, introduced ourselves, and it was like, who are you? And we introduced ourselves, and they're like, okay. So took a few minutes just to listen to them talk, and then they hear our story, and it's mutual respect all around. So yeah, man, I've been really blessed. I hope this blessed train continues to move forward.
Definitely. You know what? Real interesting that you even mentioned that, because our topic is today representation in gaming, aka Black people in gaming. Where are the colors? Where are the colors at?
Oh man,
where are the colors at, brother?
There's See, I'm trying to say this, nicely, because I don't,
as respectful as we can. Yeah.
Right. I don't want it to be like, what, we need to shut down Sergeant Crank's podcast.
Listen. My podcast, I keep it explicit. The only thing is I don't drop N-bombs.
Of course.
But hey man, if you feel you gotta cuss, man.
Okay.
Cuss away, man.
I'll do my best to keep it to an absolute minimum. So because this is a really important topic.
Subject,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want this topic to be marred with too much cursing, because I don't want to waste my breath that way when I could be telling solid information instead. So
yeah.
That's my focus. That's what I hope to accomplish today.
Good. Yeah, man. I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while, whether it was on video or podcast or whatever, because I feel this is very important, because finding out we make up. I didn't even know this. We make up half of the players.
Yes, that's right. In terms of gaming tournaments, in terms of character representation, like I wouldn't just say African Americans, because like there's different types of Black representation throughout the world, and there has been a few games that represent that, but we as an industry, we need to do better.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, because I feel it's almost like early Hollywood, where we're typecast in video games. And to be honest, it's almost like, do you guys have any Black friends? Like, is this the only blueprint that you know for a Black character?
The answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. They have token Black guy number 285 with skin color brown number 15, and or what do they call it? Diversity hire number 82. So they have diversity hire number 82. And he's the token Black guy with skin tone brown number 15. And they'll say, okay, in this script, we just need you to throw up the peace sign. He's like, you sure you want me to do that? And they're like, yes, we just want you to throw up the peace sign. He's like, okay. So he goes in there, throws up the peace sign. What up, peoples? And that's it. and collect this check of $15.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I feel like ever since Gears of War came out, the only I think the only black person they ever like really witnessed was Augustus Cole.
Oh man,
They
you know
feel
what?
like black character has to be Augustus Cole. I'm like, no, man.
Well, okay. It, listen, listen.
It's basically the expensive stuff. What are you guys doing?
So since Coltrane,
Yeah.
because he came off as the male version, excuse me, the male version of Aunt Your Mama, because he has, of course, he has his name, but then he also has his phrases. Coltrane ain't gonna tolerate that, baby, and
Coltrane, whole grain, baby.
right, exactly. Woo! So for Gears of War 1, 2, and 3,
and 4.
and 5, but hold on, I'm getting right. I'm getting to a key point here. The thing is, he has his shtick, and that stuck with people for a while. And I think, as crazy as this sounds, I think him being in that particular game, which was introduced to a widely Caucasian audience, he kind of, maybe indirectly, maybe directly, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but paved the way in terms of people saying, hey, you know what, this Coltrane guy has a lot of personality. He's a great assist, and he doesn't die all the time like how Dom did, but because Dom died a whole lot. And
Carmine.
Yeah, no. I mean, like when you're playing like the campaign, and then like gets put to the ground, and then you got to go and stop them from bleeding out. Carmine just died. Like that was his thing. The whole Carmine family. But Augustus Cole, he had his purpose, and then in Gears 4, I guess. Now that you have like a whole new generation of Gears characters, you have JD Phoenix, you have Kate Diaz, you have your Caucasian, you have your Latino, and then you have Del, who is JD's friend. And Del is a funny motherfucker, but in his own unique way. He wasn't like Coltrane, but at the same time, he was like a down to earth, cool to hang out with black dude. And
like they're almost like, we know black people can be other characters. Not to be this character.
Right, exactly. So I'm very happy. What I'm about to say is gonna anger people, but I'm very happy with characters like Del and Augustus Cole being in Gears of War. The series Gears of War 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you have your spin-offs from that, and they make their appearances. Even the characters that have like their own little short stories and things like that in there, I'm happy to have them. They paved the way forward. Now, here comes the part that's going to anger people.
Here we go.
Thanks to motherfuckers like Squaresoft.
Oh, here we go.
Right, exactly. That one character sent us back 50 years.
Are we talking about Barrett?
Yes, that's right. I'm big and black with a gun, and I talk like I'm from the deep south. Like, oh boy, here we go.
But you know what? Yeah.
I'm big and tough. Come on, Cloud. Like, oh god, here he goes, and then Cloud,
with stoic ass.
Yeah, he's sitting there like he'll say something stupid like all I care about is the fight. Like, man. Come on, man. Everybody know you was also looking at Tifa's cleavage when she changed her dress. And he's like, wow, you look... All I care about is the fight. I'm like, God damn it.
Exactly.
But, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a cool game. It's just that voice work.
You know, the voice work, the fucking character. Oh my God.
It just needs work. Hopefully they'll fix it with the next release in that series.
Why are you lying to yourself right now?
Listen, I am crossing my fingers. I am hoping for the best, and I mean, I know I'm not going to get it, but you know, I'm hoping, and I would like to think that we, as an industry, we have risen above all of that. But
no,
yeah, I know better.
because you know, hey, it sells. It sells. I'm not even gonna hate it. I'm not even gonna hate the people that buy it. It sells.
Right.
It sells. Fuck it.
So, you know, I personally feel that Barrett, he sets Black representation and progression back 50 years.
Yeah, because it's cliche, almost juke and jive BS. Like it's almost like blaxploitation inside of a JRPG.
Yes,
that's what it feels like.
Yes,
that's what it feels like.
Exactly. If you put
bad blaxploitation,
right? If you took Shaft and you put 100 pounds on him and cut his hand off, and gave him a Gatling gun, you'd have Barrett. And and
like,
you know,
I'll never forget this when they made the Advent Children movie. They gave this name cornrows. So I was like, "Are you serious, right?"
Yes.
You get me?
Yep. So I mean, as you can see from, you know, even in a game like that came out March 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put a pin.
And they had years. They had years to fix that.
Yes, exactly. So let's put a pin in that. March of 2020, the gaming industry, well, at least from Japan's side, the gaming industry still has not learned from representation, especially with Black representation. But hey, you know what? Because of everything that's happening right now with rioters blowing all of these buildings up outside,
oh yeah,
I strongly believe that we're probably going to get the representation that we need, and not because they want to, but because they're like, damn, if we don't give these darkies what they want, they're gonna continue to blow up our businesses. So, I mean, you already see they said something like, "Oh, we're canceling Paw Patrol." Like, what? That has nothing to do with. You know what? Okay.
hey.
So,
hey, Square Enix can get it too.
Hey, you know what? You're next, Nickelodeon.
oh no, Paramount has too much money invested in that. We change it. We changing everything. Bring the Proud Parents back.
Oh shit. Disney, you already know. You can bring back what was it? Fillmore? You can bring back Fillmore, and we're good, man. We're good. Just put away Fantasia and put away Dumbo, and we'll be okay. We'll be square.
Mm-hmm.
But
make it nothing but Black Panther fucking cartoons.
that would be very interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's interesting to see a character like that.
Yeah.
But it's like we shouldn't have to like rely
on that shouldn't be the only one.
Right. So yes, Black representation from what I'm seeing is, you know, improving, but
Mhm.
in certain countries, that just isn't really the case yet. Um, and that's not necessarily to say Japan, but that's not necessarily to say that they're not doing it correctly. Because you'll look at someone like Hideo Kojima, for example,
Yeah,
and for the most part, he gets it pretty right. He does it
he
pretty good.
he's more world. See, he's more worldly. He's just not stuck in Japan and their view of the rest of the world. Like I feel Japan sometimes is very closed off, like onto themselves.
Yes. So you'll have someone like that, and
Mhm.
he'll get it right. Uh, Honestly,
Even
that's
Suda 51.
oh yeah.
I feel like he does have his stereotypes sometimes, but
Hmm.
it's so he's so very. I feel like he's like Quentin Tarantino of video game industry because he's so
Okay,
out there. Like he's so out there.
right. Yeah,
So
I can see that.
like sometimes there'll be caricatures of certain races, but then other times it's like, oh, all right, you got something a little in depth more than what it would usually be. Like there's a legit black samurai in No More Heroes. I think I forgot her name. I think it's Nobu.
Yeah, that's the game that came out
Yeah,
on the was it the
the Wii.
GameCube? Oh no, it was the
It
Wii.
was,
Okay,
mhm.
I knew it was one of those Nintendo systems.
Yeah,
But
she was
yeah,
she was
I can.
I think a black Japanese assassin.
Right. So he's not. They're not the only ones, but it's like you would think by now they would, in general, get it right.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Get on the ball.
right, but that's just that's not the case. And it's kind of come to the point now where not necessarily to say, oh, we need to start begging and demanding for them to put black characters into
Mhm.
um their games and their stories and everything, but more so the case where it's like, hey, we need to start talking with black writers and
Yes.
programmers and whatnot, and say, hey, we want to give you this amount of money, and we would like for you to create a product that puts us, in the and it doesn't even have to be in the best light, because we don't mind being heroes, we don't mind being villains. We do mind being taken for suckers, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so you'll have Jordan Peele.
Hmm.
He's really big on that. Um, Spike Lee and so forth. But it's
Yeah.
all movies. We don't necessarily have somebody like that in the gaming industry.
Yes, we don't. We don't. And I believe that's a really big problem.
It is. So it's definitely something that we need, we crave, but I'm not gonna rely on these current studios out here to do that.
Oh no.
I could actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I could see, of all like companies, Ubisoft would probably do it, but
You know what? Yes. Yeah.
but I kind of worry because how do I say this without offending people? I think they would unintentionally do it where the characters are a little flamboyant,
Hmm.
and while there's nothing wrong with that, that is not what every black character is about, you know?
Hmm.
So that's just my main worry, because you'll have like misrepresentation upon
Yes.
upon absent representation. So um that I could see Ubisoft kind of hitting the mark, but not really. And of course, you have EA that gets it right every time with a Madden, but
listen, EA is beyond help, man. They're like, I think today is their press conference. I don't even care. I don't even care.
I know that they have their Madden 21 that should be like announced or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
another Doom that's on the cover.
Yeah. Oh man, who's gonna get the Madden curse this time? All right, Colin Kaepernick, you're up. Like, oh God.
I'm already crying. Look, I don't even need this curse.
Right. So in video games, even like Japanese anime and other cartoons, you need to have a balance where this type of representation hits like all corners. So, for example, you'll have the last time that we've seen like black representation where it made like a black audience really sit down and think and say, damn, this is really good, was during the Boondocks. And when did that come out?
I want to say the Boondocks maybe was 04, 05.
Jesus. And we haven't really had anything, that was solid like that since. We can't count Disney's Frog and the Princess and the Frog. We're not going to count that.
No.
We're not going to count a good portion of the Japanese animes that's out now. Mm-hmm. Even you know what? No, let me take that back. You'll have an anime like Soul Eater. Yes. And I don't remember the character's name, but like the one with the braids that was like going back in his head, the black character. It was like, okay, he's cool. But you look at what is out now.
Actually, My Hero Academia, I just finished one of the arcs.
Okay.
They had a black character on it that was really dope. Damn, I forgot his power, man. Like he was one of the either one of the teachers or he's one of the heroes. I know that.
Okay.
It was saving the little girl. It was the arc where they're saving the little girl from the dude who's like taking pieces of her and like selling them to the criminals.
Oh boy, I haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
I've seen the arcs up to the point where All Might he defeated All for One, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He defeated him, and it took all of his power to do it. And he pointed to the camera and told Midoriya, "Okay, it's your turn now, because I can't do this shit no more."
Man, it gets crazy. It does. Even though we're getting a little off topic, it gets a little way crazy.
I've heard people tell me that. I've heard people tell me that. They're like, it gets even more insane. I've been so busy, like I haven't had a chance to like really sit down and look at it. I'm definitely a fan, but
Oh, no bullshit. Yeah, it took me a while. It's taking me a lot. I'm still haven't finished this last season that's came out. So I'm trying to play catch up, but it's hard. It's a little hard. I'm working. Well, now I'm not working, but
right.
I could, but I'm on doing other things. Trying to start this podcast, like,
Hey, listen, I totally understand. I totally get it. I wish you absolutely the best in terms of, jumpstarting your podcast. I'm happy to contribute. So yeah, man, you have my 100% official support.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. One of the things that angers me when I hear from like black people on Facebook, black people friends and family and things like that, They'll say something like, "Oh, well, black representation ain't important to me." And it's like when I hear that,
It's such stupidness.
It seems like as if they're taking a dagger to all of the progress that has been made for black representation and they're stabbing it in the back.
Exactly.
Because what I tell them is, okay, you go to Japan and you find any Japanese person and you tell them that Japanese representation in their own content is not important. And they will laugh your ass back on the version playing back to your United States.
Or chop your head off, one or the other.
Right. And what I explain to people is, for some strange reason, you'll have an anime that has nothing to do with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And for some strange fucking reason, I have this thing that I call it, like, they nippon it up. What I mean by that is, you'll take an anime, has nothing to do with Japanese culture, Japanese characters or whatever, and then right before you know it, they'll throw in a Japanese reference. They'll throw in some samurais, or they'll throw in some ninjas, or they'll throw in the Japanese flag, or they'll throw in a bowl of rice and chopsticks. So when I see that, I always say Nippon, and like people be like, what the fuck? Why do you do that? And I'm like, because they're Nippon it up. That's what they do in the anime. Like, let me see it. An anime that has nothing to do with Japan, right? Dragon Ball.
Well, that's subjective.
Right. Right.
I was going to say Attack on Titan or Berserk, but
hey, you know what? Yes, there you go. So they'll have European architecture and characters, and Band of the White Hawk this, and Swihinders, and and all that other shit. And then out of nowhere, here comes this fucking Nodachi sword, or here comes here comes Yamato, and like this guy, he has his legendary samurai sword that cuts through anything, and it's like, damn, now our villains have to fight this guy, even you'll take an anime, oh, this is gonna anger people, you'll take an anime like Overlord.
Yeah.
And see, they were smart. What they did was they only spoke about Japan for like a few minutes. Same thing with Rising of the Shield Hero. They'll speak about Japan for like the first 10 minutes. And then after that, that's it. Like they won't show that representation that much anymore, unless like the character's eating. Then they got to do the, itadakimasu, and then they got to, have the fucking chopstick sounds, the chopstick sounds, and they take the bowl and they're like eating the bowl of rice really fast, and then they slam the damn bowl on the table, and then you see the puff of steam come out of their mouth and shit, and I'm like, oh boy, Nippon, they nipponed it up, and so every time when it happens, like, I just have to remind myself by making that little sound effect, so that way I don't lose focus in terms of when people say, oh, representation of characters is not that big of a deal, and I'm like, it's totally a big deal,
Absolutely. I remember when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out, and I took my niece to see it. She was in love. Her being Latin and black. She's Cuban and black.
Right.
Seeing a Puerto Rican and black character seeing a Latin and black character on screen, like that's something new to her. That's something.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have characters that can like reflect back upon its audience, and you'll have like little black boys and little black girls, and they'll say, wow, this character looks like me, or this character inspires me in somehow, some way. Well, all you're really doing in that regard is you're setting up the future for better representation. So of course you'll look at, what's going on in gaming in Japan, what's going on in anime and things like that, and you'll see that they have their representation on lock.
Down pat, down to a T.
Right. All we're asking for is to have that same type of representation when characters with
Hello? Jermaine, did we lose you? Oh, shit.
6.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
I got you. Yeah, I heard you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I got you.
What was the last thing that you heard me say?
You said you was talking about the last thing you said was brown, and then it just cut off.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was gonna say like brown number 6 or brown number 8.
Okay.
We don't want to have it where it's like, oh, well, when this black character comes on, we're gonna embarrass them, we're gonna put egg on their face, and we're gonna do something stupid.
Yeah, like a classic comedy character or something.
Right. Or servant characters like Mr. Popo and Jinx.
Yeah.
From Pokemon. Just that whole like archetype. It's just come on.
That's already passed. In my opinion,
right.
In my opinion, like we've passed that already. We want to see black characters do different things now.
Right. We don't mind being the villain.
No.
We don't mind being the hero. We do mind being the help.
Oh, absolutely. We've been a help for 400 years.
Right.
And
so, yeah. So, I mean, I heard that they're going to be like doing an anime of one of the African samurais that like lived in Japan.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, so I'll be like, okay, that sounds interesting. I'd like to check that out.
You know what? I met the guy who did Afro Samurai, the guy who created him at a Comic-Con.
Okay.
I told him how much that character meant to me. Everything, like he was really appreciative of it, man. Like
right.
Because I never.
Yeah, I totally hear you, man.
Like Afro Samurai, that was a bad. He ain't say much, but that was a bad motherfucker.
Right. They you have representation like that in Afro Samurai. You'll have not necessarily black representation, but you could tell from Samurai Champloo.
Oh, definitely hip hop influences.
Right, exactly. It's out there, and like I said, it there needs to be more. But we're just at a point where we need to start like stepping our game up in terms of us doing it
ourselves. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's a anime studio, as a matter of fact, that is black owned, and it's in Japan.
I did read about that. I read about that.
I will tell you their name in a moment. I'm looking.
Yeah, I wish I had my laptop out here. I would have looked for myself too.
It's a weird name, but it's cool at the same time.
As much as I have a problem, I do have a problem with the representation in the video game side of things. I also have a problem, and this is just as important. I have a problem with the lack thereof, the representation of the lack thereof of black people.
What do you mean?
Of black people in the games media?
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at IGN. I don't know about GameStop. I haven't been following for too long. And some of the other, maybe Kotaku and Polygon may have one or two but you do
Oh,
not.
you mean
Yeah, you don't.
I'm
You
sorry.
don't see any like in any of. I feel like you don't see any black people in any of the media, like whether it's reporting or anything like that. They may be helping behind the scenes, maybe, but you don't see anybody in the forefront. Like you don't like there's not a black kid that clicks on IGN and sees, oh, there's a black guy giving me my video game news.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yes, I agree. You'll have, black employees.
Behind the scenes.
Right. You know, they're doing the work or they're doing the help. They're the gopher people. Go get this coffee. Go get this donut. Go get this camera. And, then they'll have, the white or Hispanic or, a host from a different country.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of black, nope. No, that's not the
It's
case.
almost like they want us to think black people don't play games.
It's funny you mentioned that because
Here we go.
there was a in Overwatch a professional Overwatch player.
Yeah.
And really good, made like top 10 best in the world, young black guy. And every time when people find out that he's black, he is met with an absurd amount of racism.
I'm sure. I'm sure that FPS community is hard.
Oh well, yeah. It's you the FPS community.
Listen, we're not gonna go into the FGC, man. Like they're on some shit this week.
Yeah, I heard.
Some shit
but I'll say this much. You know what ethnic background the Doom Soldier is. You know what ethnic background Duke Nukem is. You know the ethnic background of the majority of these main character shooters.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a game like Destiny where it's not really a big deal.
Yeah,
You'll have a game, like Halo, where like I think there's a black character that's like a general or something like that.
I think he's a sergeant or whatever.
Is it the sergeant? He's the one that has the hat.
Yeah. And he don't
that's right. He's always telling Master Chief, "What are you doing, Master Chief? Don't do this, Master Chief." And Master Chief's like, "Fuck you." And, yeah, there we go, Johnson. Hey,
no parachute.
Johnson. That's a slave. I mean, I don't mean to throw it out there, but okay, diversity hire number 26. Get your ass on in here. Your name is Johnson.
So they didn't make you do that voice.
So yeah, you know who what ethnic background they are. And yeah, you'll look at Kotaku and Polygon.
Kotaku, the TMZ of the gaming industry. But go ahead.
Right. Polygon, IGN. I think there's like one guy.
I seen a black guy, but he doesn't do the gaming news. He handles all the comic book shit.
Okay.
I'm just like,
so yeah, you'll have that one black guy over there.
I'm like,
and he's the one that he's the one that curates shit.
Yeah. He's the editor. Fucking editor.
So, he's the one that curates shit, and when he threatens to leave the company, they'll like give him employee of the month. You know,
Yeah.
don't stay. We'll never be the same without you. And like, should he leave, they'd be like, damn, now where are we gonna find another diversity hire?
Yep. And see,
Not realizing,
and
not realizing they'll get another one like within the next week or so.
and with that, that's where I think the YouTube boom of all of these black content creators have come from.
Yes, that's right.
They got tired of it.
They got tired, and I mean, YouTube has their dirt too, but you have a few people that is really like holding it down in the YouTube space. Like what's his name? Marcus Brownlee?
Yeah, oh yeah, Marcus Brownlee. Yeah, Marcus Brownlee, yeah.
I love his
work.
Yeah,
definitely.
Just Some Guy.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about, like comics and contradictions in comics. You have a few out there. I feel so bad because like I know several of them by name, but for some reason I just can't seem to get their names off the top of my head.
Like this dude named OJ, he runs the Player Essence YouTube channel. He's really good. Okay. He's really good. Like he mainly focuses on Japanese and Nintendo games, but he also does the other games. He does other systems, but I like his content. His content is really good, really dope.
Right.
I wasn't a fan of Etika, but he was holding it down. I felt he was
Etika, yes.
holding it down. I was a big fan of his, but a big fan of his channel. But him as a person, he seemed super dope, super cool.
Yeah, I mean, Etika. I mean, God rest his soul. That it's just very tragic what happened with him, but.
For sure.
He was out on the scene and he was, building up a really great audience. And I mean, they're out there.
I think there's another cat named Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, like Star
like
Wars.
Yeah, but it's spelled OBE and then the number 1.
Oh, okay.
He's all right. His content's pretty all right. I think there's a dude named Mizza T.
Mizza T.
Yeah. He used to do the Mr. T voice. I think he kind of stopped it because his voice was getting fucked up. Maybe. Maybe. But he has.
Hopefully it's not litigation.
Thanks.
Hopefully it's not that. There's I think the host of Big Cheese Gaming.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Hey,
and listen, even Triforce.
Oh yes.
Yes. Triforce of Empire Arcadia.
He is doing his thing. He is definitely doing his thing. Especially with Africa and everything.
Yes, exactly. So, they're definitely out there. YouTube is a great, it's a kind of great platform in which you can be a black man or a black woman, and you can really let people know, what you think, how you feel, provide input. You can do reviews on, tech gadgets or books and things. And if your content is really solid, people will come in, they'll listen to you. Even like some people that do like web comics where you read the comic, but it scrolls down, like you don't read it across. It's like a one big long page and they separate the panels and everything. You got like a few artists, they do that too. So it's like I keep repeating, it's great. It's wonderful that we have this type of representation coming up, but we need a lot more of it. And we need more of it where we shouldn't be, destroying buildings and setting shit on fire all the time in terms of, showing, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. Don't get me wrong. I know most of this is happening a lot more because of, misrepresentation, but even it's in.
But even that, like, I'm not gonna say it's all, but a lot of it is not. A lot of the burning of our own shit is not even us. That's the wild shit.
That's the weird thing. Like they're catching a bunch of little, Antifa
Yeah.
somebodies. They're like, oh well, we caught this protester, this rioter throwing
Mhm.
a Molotov cocktail in a Wendy's, and you got black people like, how the fuck we make Molotov cocktails?
You don't even do
I
that.
don't know. Right, like I don't know how to make no fucking Molotov cocktail.
Does it have Henny in it?
Right. Oh God.
Nah. But no, like no. No. And like you clearly see like undercover cops and all types of
Right.
wild like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Undercover cops, and they try to merge Antifa with what's happening, and you got black people like, who the fuck is Antifa?
Like, for real.
they ain't down with us. What? we're burning precincts because we're tired of getting arrested
And shot.
We're not burning Wendy's. We want the fucking 5-piece nugget
Exactly.
deal, dumbass.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but hopefully we can get more representation without that type of stuff having to happen. I've seen some editors
Yes.
on Twitter now. Twitter.
But that's
Twitter is a cancer, man.
It is, but it's how it's definitely how I have to use it. I have to use it to push my stuff.
Of course,
that's what I use. That's what I have to use it for.
Right. Twitter is a cancer, but if you're able to, wade through the floating shit that's in the water over there.
Oh yeah.
You'll every now and then you'll find some legit gems. You'll find some editors and artists and things like that they genuinely care.
Mm-hmm.
They see what the problem is, and they want to help.
Yeah.
I saw I think an editor from IDW. They do I think they do the Transformers comic.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And,
yes.
Yeah, they do the Transformers. They do My Little Pony. They got a pretty good collection. They're not Marvel, but they have a pretty good catalog.
But who wants to be?
And yeah, they'll so the editor will say something like, "Hey, I agree. Black Lives Matter, and I agree that I am white and privileged, and I want to help blacks. So I'm taking, content submissions from artists and writers and, other talented individuals who are trying to get their foot into this industry. Here, you can reply here with your artwork and your writing and things like that." And when I went there, like, they were just flooded with content from different types of wonderful artists, black artists.
Yes.
When the whole Sailor Moon thing, where like a bunch of different artists, they was illustrating Sailor Moon and like the pose that she was in.
Yes.
You had a lot of black characters black artists that were making Sailor Moon into, they'll make her black, or they'll like refine the art style.
Yeah.
And it was it's like as if you're finding a diamond in the rough, and you're finding all of these diamonds in the rough,
Oh, 100%. Like some of that stuff some of that artwork was like totally incredible.
Right. And I sit there and I'm like, wait a minute, why are you not working in the industry? My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you was working in the industry, you'd probably take over with how amazing your artwork is.
I feel especially the art industry is very how can I put it, like very I don't want to say
See,
cliquish.
we're trying to say things without being too offensive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I don't want to say it's cliquish, but I feel that it is. It's very elitist. That like that industry is
It
very
is. It
elitist.
is elitist. It is. It's not what you know. It's who you know.
Yeah.
So that applying something like that in the industry, like you'll have people that's sitting in a position for decades, and they intentionally do not let other people in. They'll see an artist, a black artist, starving artist that comes up, and they're like, my name is such and such. Here's my portfolio, and this young upstart
Mhm.
is their work dwarfs whatever this senior artist or whatever's doing, and because of jealousy and having fear that they're going to lose their spot, to be like, oh, we apologize, this isn't what we're looking for right now, come back to us within 6 months. And then 6 months pass, and the artist comes back and he's made even more phenomenal work, and they just continue to shut down these black artists. And what these black artists need to realize is, hey, you can focus on your own shit. You can work with people within your community, and you can build up hype and hysteria for your art and your characters and things of that nature. um one of the things that kind of disappoints me, but I to a degree I understand why they do it, is when they'll have something like they'll have an artist, and that artist will draw like one character, like let's say Lisa Simpson,
Mhm.
right? So they'll take that character and they'll say, okay, they'll draw like 9 panels, and it's Lisa Simpson in every panel. But then, like in the first panel, they'll say, well, this is how I draw Lisa Simpson in my art style. And then in the next panel, it's like, this is how Lisa Simpson is in the Simpsons art style. Then in the next one, this is how Lisa Simpson is in Adventure Time's art style. And number 4, this is how Lisa Simpson is in Dragon Ball art style. And number 5, and they'll keep on going through all of the different types of art styles that they can accurately mimic. And I just sit there and I'm like, why aren't you building yourself up?
Mhm. With your
Like,
art
you can
side.
do all of these different art styles, right? You can do all these different art styles, and I don't know, man. I think it's a bit of fear, and because of how the gap between everybody else and black artists making it in the industry, that gap is so wide. You know,
I,
you don't. What was you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this because as I used to be an artist. Um,
Okay.
Artists are very very hard on themselves. Like it's almost to a fault. Really to a fault. We're really hard on ourselves. We don't like a lot of us
Okay.
don't think that we're good enough. Our artwork is not good enough. Like we really beat ourselves up when we really shouldn't.
Right.
Not saying that we should be arrogant. We should have more confidence in our work
Okay. Yes.
because I see that I see that with a lot of artists. Um, sometimes I feel my own cousin sometimes has I feel he has that complex.
Which one?
I feel like he has that complex sometimes. His
Okay.
artwork is amazing. His
Hmm.
artwork is phenomenal, fucking phenomenal.
Right.
I love his artwork.
Okay.
I feel he needs. I want him to push it. I want him to push that artwork more. I want him to push that artwork way harder on his Instagram, on his Twitter than he's been doing, man. Like it'll
Right.
be amazing, man. Just be amazing.
That sounds cool. I would love to see his work. But yeah, I mean, it sucks that artists in general, like, they're just so unnecessarily hard on
Yeah.
themselves. But um at the same time, I think that's more of the reason why, like, you need more artists coming in, so that way they could look at other young and upcoming artists and say, hey, your work is good. Like, keep this up.
Like even Reggie, I want Reggie to push his art more. I feel he has the confidence, but I feel low key he holds back. As a matter of fact, he did the logo for my podcast. It's originally for my YouTube channel, but I just use it for everything for D-Pad Entertainment.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you and myself and everybody else, even Bowser, you know, like let's go up to him.
About B earlier, yeah.
Right, and let's go up to him and be like, "Yo, you gotta keep pushing this stuff, man."
I know. I tell them all the time when he's telling me that he hasn't drawn it. I'm like, bro, like I mean, I get it. You get a brain fart about what to draw, how to draw it, but like I want him to be on it, like on it.
Right.
Like this is
and also
like this is your passion, bro.
Right. And also another thing that I've noticed. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
It happens, man. It happens.
Like I was about to say what I was gonna say, and then my brain was like, poof. I think whoever's controlling me in the Sims 4 game, they was like, "Nah, we need you to do something else."
no, you about to say something. You about to say something. We cannot have that. Cut him off.
Exactly. I had it right there on the tip of my tongue. Hopefully,
plug him from the Matrix.
Right. So they selected me and was like, they just clicked on the bed repeatedly. It's time for your ass to go to sleep.
And no turn up to you.
So yeah, man, I hope it comes back. But yeah, man, just keep. I tell all artists, even stick figures. People that can draw stick figures.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some amazing shit on video
with stick figures.
with just stick figures. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what craziness am I looking at on the screen? Oh, good news. It came back to me. To me. Whoever's controlling me in the Sims 4 was like, all right, I think you can have it. But one of the things that I've also noticed with not just black artists, but just artists in general, the reason why they don't really push themselves that well is because they think like there's not really an industry that's important for that.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is they can't make money to sustain themselves in like how a 9-to-5 can. So they'll have their 9-to-5 and you'll have like a risk where they have to be their own boss.
Yeah.
And, they have to market themselves and everything like that. And listen, as a photographer, that shit is hard.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
But, the hope is that, your style, your art, what you represent as an individual can speak for itself. In some cases, it does. Some cases, people don't get it. And, it is what it is. But people in general, whether they're artists or not, they don't understand the significance of art. So, I think I was watching a YouTube video. It's from a couple. Their name is Clownfish TV.
Mm-hmm.
The guy of the show, his name is Neon, and I think his wife or whatever is named Gigi Sparkles. And they, they're artists. They have art degrees. They've worked for Disney and things like that. And they was talking about how because of what's happening with COVID-19, people who do artwork and things like that, it's not considered an essential business. So they put a really good argument in regards to that. They're like, when you put on your jacket, you're representing art. When you eat the waffles that come in those fun sizes and they're shaped like little characters or whatever, or even when you eat alphabet soup, or whatever the case may be, that's art as well. When you're looking at artwork, of course, on your computer, laptop, whatever, that's art. So when you have a white picket fence in comparison to, like, a black fence that has like Victorian architecture from it, that's art as well. The imperial buildings of the Taj Mahal in India is a different art style and art architecture in comparison to something like Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different angles with that. But to say that art is not an essential business, like, that's kind of fucked
It's
up.
complete bullshit.
So right. So things like that, it hurts the industry overall.
Yeah.
So
You're absolutely right about that.
I wish people in general, everyday people, like, they saw this and they realized the importance of artwork. Hopefully we would get, overall representation, and even through that, like, black representation would improve. But it's not going to happen unless it is stressed upon.
Yeah.
So, it's not just going to take my voice. It's not just going to take your voice. It's going to take all of our voices to make something like that happen. This is one of those rare times when I do believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. If we, explain to people, like, art is all around you, you shouldn't feel ashamed or feel cheated that you're paying an artist to create something for you. You shouldn't feel bad for that at all. And just expressing that message, it would improve. It would improve everybody else, getting into the industry and expressing themselves and representation. So it's a really big deal. Hopefully, when COVID-19 is over and done with, we'll be able to see, like, improvements to that degree, or if not, we'll just continue burning shit to the ground. So,
well, besides all, I think with that this is a little off topic. With that, it's also the unrest of we've been cooped up in the house for like since March.
Yes, being stuck in the house like that, yeah, because we're social people, and people want to be around other people. Well, not all the time, but just enough where we get tired of each other.
And then, like, the bullshit is more evident than ever. How they're trying to cover up for police brutality. So, like, now people have had it. People fucking had it.
Right, exactly. It's it's bad when you have the Amish maidens of Pennsylvania, and you have the sisters of Gothic Wiccan of like Portland, Oregon.
Oh man.
Where they come together to meet up in a place like Chicago, Illinois, and they're in front of the city hall buildings, and they're holding up their signs. That's when it's bad.
It's bad when the rest of the world is fucking protesting for this shit. You got people in Germany, my brother. Germany.
Well, listen, I'm not surprised. Germany is one of those countries where they're like, shit, we got to do this again. I thought we apologized for this shit that happened in 1944. They're still acting up.
Now they're doing it.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So you got Germany. They're like, yeah, man, we're gonna protest, and you got neighboring countries like Austria. They're like way ahead of it.
New Zealand,
right? New Zealand, Czech Republic,
no joke.
France.
But apparently America doesn't have a racist problem. So,
well, I mean,
apparently,
we know what that's about.
Yeah, exactly. There's money to be made in racism. We know.
Exactly. So I'm not surprised that Germany is like pushing super hard for representing blacks. And it's also important, like just having a voice. You look at how John Boyega, he did his protest, and he told people, he's like, look, I don't know if I'm gonna have a career after this, but fuck that.
Yeah, this is important.
And it's so sad he even has to make a statement like that. They'll because I mean, look, it's true. Like in the movie industry and in most industries in which blacks are trying to represent other blacks or represent themselves, so that way they don't screw anything up. When you make a protest like that, you try getting work and it doesn't happen. They'll close the door in your face and they're like, oh, we have nothing for you.
Yeah.
And, in the background, we know it's because, well, he spoke out. She spoke out, They spoke out in a sense of trying to say, hey, stop killing us. We're not the animals that your media makes us out to be.
Exactly.
We're not perfect, but damn.
Like, don't kill us in cold blood. Like, what's wrong with you?
Right, exactly. So, I feel for him. I feel for him. I feel for everybody, excuse me, that's going through situations like that.
And he's been going through that. Like, even since the Star Wars shit, people was giving him shit.
Right. Yep, exactly. They was giving him a lot of flack, even when he was working on the Star Wars films. So, I hope that this can come to a resolve for him and for everybody else that represents what's happening in the world.
But most of the black directors, producers, they spoke up and was like, "Listen, you always have a job with me." Like I think Jordan Peele had tweeted something. Yeah,
Jordan Peele
and tweeted something.
That's right.
I believe. I forget this lady's name. I forget this lady's name, man. She did I want to say 12. Did she do 12 Years a Slave? I know she did 13 Reasons.
Ava DuVernay?
Yes. I believe she spoke out.
All right.
Spoke out. And actually I don't think everybody realizes John Boyega also has his own production company with another cat. They produced the second Pacific Rim when
nice.
Del Toro pulled out. He put his money in to help get that second movie produced.
Yeah, Pacific Rim was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know there was a part 2 though.
Yeah. He did. He was in part 2 and he was the producer for it.
Okay, cool. I gotta look into that.
Really good. He actually plays the son of Idris Elba's character.
Okay.
In the second one. It's pretty dope. I liked it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I thought it was cool.
Right.
And I really hope they do continue.
Oh, okay. What I was gonna say to you was I found the name of the black-owned Japanese art studio in Japan. Their name is The Art Shitagio. And they make some like awesome stuff. When you get the chance, I'll probably like text you their name or something like that.
Okay.
Just check it out, man. They make amazing stuff.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. I remember
And
that popped up, that had popped up twice in my Facebook feed, and I meant to save that article.
okay, yeah, and they've had articles where they're like, oh, what's it like being a black studio in Japan? And they talk about the cultural differences, the racism, and things like that, and the representation.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
It's what's happening right now. As much as I don't want to say it, but black individuals, the way we're stressing how we need to be represented, it's creating an echo chamber, and it's so loud. My only hope is that we don't end up drowning in our own message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my hope is, through all of what's going on right now and how we are crying for representation, my hope is that, listen, we make something out of this. That's why me personally, I mean, I can't talk about details right now, but that's why me personally, I'm writing up my own stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed you kind of scaled back on the veil a little bit.
Right.
But I was like, oh man, you really getting into that progress, man.
Oh yeah, like I said, I can't talk about it right now, but no, the progress it's damn near done. Whew. And it won't be long before I can unveil what it is. I just want to make sure that my money and finances is okay first.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then, I'll be like, okay, so I'm going to copyright this, I'm going to trademark this, and I'm like, all right, now I can put it out to the world and be like, this is that hot fire shit that I was working on. And I mean, so far, I mean, I've already shown a few people, and they're like, wow, this is some epic shit. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm doing the right thing. So once I have my finances good, which shouldn't be long, and once I have shit copyright and trademarked, I'm like, all right, bitches,
here we go.
Here you go.
Like Samuel Jackson in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Right. So I'm hoping for that, and I'm hoping that also adds to black representation. Oh, and another thing in regards to that, like just black representation overall, because I know we touched base on it earlier in this discussion.
Yes.
But aren't you tired of like, how do I put this? There seems to be this like ghetto tripe within characters. Like, come on, man.
Like, no. Like, enough is enough.
Like, not every black person is like that. Not every black person wants to rob you, or on a show. Not every black person is this senseless character that's just there. But
that's what, and it's sickening. It's sickening, and that's why it's the time to say enough is enough. We need a change. We need something different. That is what's pushed into the media. This whole thing, notion of blacks are this way, black people are this way. No, not every black person is like that. We have our own. Everybody has their own wants, needs, different style, different character in general.
Right.
All clumped up. Not all of us want to be a fucking basketball star or a singer or a movie star. Like that's horseshit. Like that's impossible. That's impossible. You can't 99% of us do not want to be those things.
Right. And it doesn't just happen in black animes with black characters in it and things like that. It also happens like right under our noses and we don't realize it.
Yeah.
So like for example, you look at you go to like the Latino channels.
Yes.
And you'll look at Telemundo, Univision, and they'll have like the lighter skinned men and women, they're telling the news,
Mm-hmm.
And like they'll have the darker skinned men and women, they're like caught up in a situation involving the news. So like if there was a shootout or something like that, they'll have the dark skinned Latino or Latina there. But they won't have them sitting at the anchor desk being the anchor man or anchor woman telling them.
They'll have them in the field, out in the news field.
Right. Picking cotton.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. I didn't say it. I was thinking it. You plucked my thought right out. You plucked my thought and just said it. Plucked my thought and just said it.
Listen, I said it because that's how it feels. It feels like, damn, they are telling these dark-skinned Latinos or, Haitians, they're telling them to go out there and pick cotton, or as they like to say it in terms of being politically correct, oh, we need you to report this angle of our cover story. Meanwhile, I'm going to be at the anchor desk where everybody can see me. And, if I'm a man, I'll make sure that my tie is perfect. If I'm a woman, I'll show a little bit of cleavage here and there. And they really do it. If it's not the anchor man or anchor woman, it's definitely the anchor woman that's telling the weather.
Yep.
The weather woman, oh my God. It's like, sweetie.
It's like notorious. It's notorious.
Right.
At this point, it's almost a meme now.
Like, sweetie, if you're talking about gusts of wind, sweetie, if you have a gust of wind blow by you right now, your clothes gonna come right off. That's how loose these things are, or tight to show like the curvature. I'm like, my goodness. But they don't. Yeah, so they don't have darker skinned Latinos or Latinas, telling the news. Having
the anchors.
Yeah, having it where the audience that they're speaking to, like it's a familiar face that people see on a daily basis. And it's like, me personally, I think that's really cool.
That is
also, also in terms of like when they tell stories or like they do their novellas, you'll always see like the lighter skin, fair skin Latinos and Latinas, like they're telling the story or they're the main actors.
Yeah.
And you'll always see the darker skinned Latinos or Latinas, like they're the ones pouring the tea, or they're the ones fixing the car.
Or are they the best friend? Are they the best friend?
Right.
For a while.
They're the best friend that's like on screen for like 1 minute per episode.
Yep.
So they'll come out and they'll be like, well, I support you. And then that's it. They'll cut to a new scene and it's a totally different situation, and it's like, damn.
Well, it's the same situation. And you'd be like, oh, I thought you said you support her. Where are you?
Right. Exactly. So yeah, I would like to think that, everybody improving that representation, you'll see more Black Latinos and Latinas as, anchor women and anchor men, anchor women, and what have you. It feels like it's all connected. And it feels that way because you can't help but have this notion like the hatred for Black people is universal.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds, it feels like it's universal. even in Asia, like even like China, mainland China.
Forget it.
Right.
Forget it.
I'm wondering if, being black in mainland China is a death sentence.
It might be. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And I think excuse me. I think
I've heard stories. I definitely heard stories.
And, I've heard.
And you know the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. So
exactly. And when people make jokes about it, jokes are funny because they're true.
Yes.
So you'll have like South Korea. I don't really see like black people in South Korea
listen,
like that.
Like we'll just say our experience our experience with Koreans was not the greatest. And that's all I'm gonna say.
I could go further.
No. No, we would just say our experience was not the most pleasant. Even though I have met pleasant Koreans in general, but our a whole different experience was not pleasant at all.
Right. You do all of the work. They deduct your hours. You ask why. They say, because you look like crime.
Folks, this was not a lot that literally happened. That's a legit story.
And then they tell you to buy them one manichi daily, one manichi times.
It's crazy.
So yeah, we had that Korean experience, and I mean, that's not to say that all Koreans are bad. Of course not.
No. I remember Betty. Betty, man. Betty was amazing.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, man. That's our experience. I'm pretty sure if I went into greater detail, there would be somebody from Korea to come and assassinate me.
Oh man, listen. waiting on the plane. Waiting to get on the fucking plane.
Right. So I kind of agree. I shouldn't say anything about that. But
yeah. Like I said, we'll just say it was not that pleasant.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening in Korea. You'll see like darker skinned Asians, like from Taiwan to Thailand.
Yeah.
It's like all you see coming out of there is like representing gold statues and fighting and kicking people. And it's like, listen, I'm pretty sure there's more to the culture than that.
Oh, absolutely. I know people who've gone to Thailand, but there's a seedy underbelly, and then there's very, very beautiful aspect to Thailand.
Of course, it's always like that. Like, you'll see the tourist view.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, you'll see the slums, and they try to keep you away from the slums.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
But I also see what you're talking about. They will umbak you.
Yes. Exactly. All right. They'd be like, so who are we going to hire for this movie kicking somebody? Tony Jaa? Like
that's all he's good for, man. I guess.
Let me jump 10 feet in the air and knee you in the face. Can you speak English? I can knee you in the face.
You're hired. Hollywood. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, Hollywood. Boy, it is It is so crazy when you see an Asian get hired in Hollywood. It's like, oh boy, you think black people get put through the ringer? Oh
Yeah.
no, this Asian is a man. It wouldn't surprise me if they put a triangle hat over their head and give them a spring roll to hold in their hands, because it's, man, the blatant
And Bruce Lee
Asian
tried
racism.
so hard, man.
Well,
Bruce Lee,
right.
he tried so hard, man.
And then they MLK'd him. So as sad as that is, they gave him the MLK treatment.
It's this one.
And well, that's all she wrote. So now you just have leading roles, in Asian in like Asian representation in Hollywood, where they say, "Hey, we want you to say something in your native language, all angry like. We're gonna put a straw hat on your head, and we're gonna give you this spring roll to hold in your hand." and we want you to kick somebody in the face, and then after that we'll shoot you dead, okay? Because ain't that how ain't was it Donnie Yen? I'm trying to think. Was it? I forget who was the one that got killed in Highlander. The Asian guy, and
it was fucking Donnie Yen, man.
Okay. Oh, I was correct.
Goddamn
Okay.
quick, that pissed me off.
Right. So Donnie Yen, kick everybody's ass, and then he just says, "Hey, you know what? Let me stand here like the good Asian that I am, and let me get my head cut off." Like what? but you was just kicking everybody's ass, and at any time you could have kicked the leader's ass, and nope, I'm gonna stand here now, and I'm gonna get my head cut off
because I'm too OP for this movie.
Exactly, I am too fucking overpowered. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you win.
It's horrible, man. It's horrible. And we knew about Donnie Yen way before Ip Man. So
right, exactly.
That's like fuck out of us.
We've known about him for a long time. When I say a rising tide lifts all boats, if you fix black representation, then all representations will be improved.
Oh yeah.
When you look, what we were just talking about in terms of Asian representation and just how stupid it is in Hollywood. Fortunately for Asians, they have like Hong Kong cinema and Japan, they have NHK, and they have their own studios and everything like that.
Yeah.
When you look at also like Middle Eastern and Indian representation, well, you ever notice how like they always want them to play in this like rural, dilapidated city, and they're holding an RPG in their hands?
Yeah, exactly. They want to be a fucking terrorist.
Right. They want you to be a terrorist, so that way you can get shot by, I think his name is Chris Kelly.
Probably. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger or fucking Sylvester Stallone. One of those guys.
Right. Let me see if I can research that. What was his name? Chris Kelly? Let me see.
It's just, I think that was talked about. It was kind of
joked. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris Kyle. Yes, Chris Kyle, like one of the most decorated American snipers. So they'll have him. Well, I mean, he passed, I believe. I believe he passed away. But they'll basically have it where it's like, well, we need you to look like an insurgent, so we need you to hack off this fake leg and say Allahu Akbar, and then you're gonna get shot in the head, okay? So,
that's it.
And so this guy, he takes a fake shot to the head, and then they show the hero. This corn-fed Caucasian America fuck yeah sniper guy, and he's the American hero, and G.I. Joe. But so you see that happen a lot you seen that happen in with Africans in that Bruce Willis movie where like Africans and were killing other Africans, and then Bruce Willis and his team stepped in.
Fuck, I can't even remember. Man.
I forget the name of the movie, but they played as like, I guess like military United States military soldiers, and they were supposed to calm down an uprising or something like that, and they saw like Africans killing other Africans, and they stepped in. And then like some of the African insurgents, they had their weapons, they started hunting them and blah blah blah. But my point is, when you see Middle Eastern individuals being represented like that, the fortunate thing for them is they have Bollywood.
Oh yeah.
And they make sure that they're represented properly. And not just in regards to India, but also like other parts of the Middle East as well. And they're straight, they're set. Now we need something very similar.
Oh, definitely.
I would say hopefully we can rely on something like that from Tyler Perry, but unfortunately Tyler Perry is Tyler Perry.
No.
And for those that don't know, when you see a Tyler Perry film, you can be guaranteed. You already know where I'm going. You can be guaranteed that a black woman will be abused by a black man to all of the 9 hells, and he'll like give her HIV that he contracted from a white guy. Notice how I said guy and not white woman. He'll contract it from there, and she comes up with a slogan like, "Child, it's time for payback," and you'll hear a shotgun be gun cocked. And
Medea clock, fucking clock of fucking 9 and shit.
Right.
Out of a fucking purse.
Right. So, I can't rely on Tyler Perry to do it. I can't rely on I forget her name. She's the one that does the Insecure series.
Oh, I don't even know.
Okay.
After Tyler Perry, I lost contact with that whole mess of that whole production company. Like they're just, it's just too much. It's too much.
He makes, believe it or not, he makes a lot of money off of black stereotypes.
Oh, he does, and it's almost sickening. It's sickening. Like I don't want to see a story about an abused black woman. Why the hell do I want to watch that?
Right. He has a
I can see it in real life.
Right. He has a show. Let me see. It's called The Oval, and it's basically a mutant version of Scandal. Remember that TV show Scandal?
Oh fucking Christ.
Right. So this one is called The Oval. I went on IMDb. It has a 3.8 out of 10. So that should tell you just what you're dealing with. Imagine Scandal, but you take the ratchet. Yes, you take the ratchetness and you feed it steroids.
Oh fucking Christ. Fucking Christ.
And it's just bad, man. Like I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer for this thing, and I was like, wow, watching this shit will make me dumber. Like this show, watching this show will turn me to Uncle Ruckus.
Oh,
I can't.
Oh,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I hear you. I like it's
So,
so
hopefully with, people within our own community and ecosystem and everything, maybe they will get the hint and be like,
fuck
stop
it.
doing shit like that.
Like fuck
Tyler
it.
Perry, Tyler Perry, Tyler Perry, Tyler Perry. Like stop doing shit like that. But otherwise it's not going to improve. We as a community, we just need to step our game up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like you said, man. Like we all like a lot of us just need to come together with ideas, with our skill sets, and just start building our own.
I agree. Yes. We have to learn how to do business with one another.
Yes,
We have to learn to
without,
trust one another.
without undercutting each other.
Right.
Stop looking for deals.
Right. Stop looking for discounts.
This is what it is. Because in order to make money, you have to spend money. That's the reality of any business.
Yes, sir. That is absolutely true.
Like, what are you holding on to the $2 for?
They are holding on to the $2 to buy that chicken wing
That they don't need.
to buy that chicken wing from the Chinese restaurant. I think you can get one chicken wing for like $1 or something like that. So they'll get like 2 of them.
Like, you think Elon Musk didn't starve?
Well, I honestly don't know about Elon Musk's life.
That's true, dude. Yeah, that is true.
I just know he was there, and then I heard of Telsa, and I mean, aside from Nikolai Telsa,
Yeah.
but like just a company, Telsa is like, I heard of Telsa, I've heard of Elon Musk, and I'm like, okay.
Oh man. What's
What did they do?
What's the guy? What's the guy who made Amazon? Is it Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos, or as I like to call, the man who lacks dick discipline. Yes.
There you go.
I do not feel bad about that guy.
Yeah.
And plus he doesn't feel bad because he already made his money back from his divorce.
Yep.
And that is very telling. So my man went to go and get some poon elsewhere. I guess his wife found out, and she was like, half. You will give me half.
Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I'll give you half. Okay.
Right. So okay. So, so he does that, and she becomes the richest woman on the planet. And what does Jeff Bezos do for that? Oh, I'll just make it back. I'll make it back in a year. Like, what did he make? $40 billion or something like that?
Hey man, that shit. You can't teach that shit.
Oh yeah. What's Enzo Amore's slogan? And you
can't teach that.
There you go. You can't teach that, man. That's called having government insiders. There's no education for that shit.
Putting in the work.
So, right, exactly. Make a few phone calls and be like, yeah, sell all of it, dump it.
Put it in the ocean.
Right. So yeah, man. I mean, we have a long way to go. But as crazy as it sounds with all of the shit getting burnt down right now, as crazy as it sounds, there's a blessing in disguise because you have people of power, wealth, and influence. Like, they're listening. They're like, okay, Black people, what do you want to do? And there's Black people who are genuinely coming forth, and they're like, listen, we're not here to do this chicken and FUBU shit. We're here to seek proper representation. Like, we want we're not looking for integration per se, but we're looking to, have a starting base just like everybody else to represent what we're about and what we think and the type of ideas that we want to bring to the forefront.
Like not all of us want to be. Not all of us want to be athletes, singers,
right,
actors. Like that's not everybody.
right.
Everybody has different stories.
Like not everybody wants to see power. Not everybody wants to see ballers. Not everybody wants to see empire.
But all Tyler Perry movies.
Right. So there's way more to that. I remember they was talking about Starfire from Teen Titans when they was, I guess, I don't know if it came out or not.
The live action. Yeah, they're already in season 2, man.
Oh, okay. See how much I don't pay attention. But I was reading up on that like when it was first announced, and it literally reduced black people to tears. And it wasn't because the Starfire character was black.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or I should say it wasn't just that. It was because Starfire was black and she had magic powers. Just those two things. Like for some reason, unless you're talking about Aurora Monroe,
yeah,
that's Storm.
For those who don't know, yeah,
that don't know. Unless you're talking about her, it just doesn't happen. So
yeah, exactly.
So to have Starfire be a black woman and she's shooting fireballs and shit and magic and whatnot.
That's something spectacular.
Right. It became an emotional big deal.
But the nerd rage about it was crazy.
Oh yeah. She's not black. Get her out of there. Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
It's so stupid. It was so stupid.
I've seen it. Now
the way Starfire is drawn, you damn right she's a black woman.
Right. Now, I mean, I know what that's really about.
Uh-huh.
The same angry white nerds that like point the finger and criticize Starfire that way for being black. They take that same hand and jerk off the third leg.
Yep. Just like they outraged about Idris Elba being what's his name Hondo.
Right.
And
right. Exactly.
And now they all love him. Now they all fucking love him.
Yep.
Because fucking Idris Elba is that damn smooth.
Well, yeah. He has that English accent, and the SJW women that ridicule him, they get home and they rub out the button, and I've seen it. They'll have their pink hat, their pink pussy hat on.
Thank God.
They will strum that button to oblivion. Okay, I've seen it. And then they'll fix their glasses.
Yo, oh shit.
They'll fix their glasses. They'll properly dye the roots of their hair the color pink or purple or something like that.
I was not ready.
And they'll fix everything and just strum the button. That's all they'll do all day. Right. They'll cry foul. Oh, Idris Elba, he shouldn't be this, he shouldn't be that. But then when they get home, they strum the button. They're like, oh my God, it's this guy. I wonder how big it is. I wonder how long it is.
And before any of these nerds complain about we don't want any more black characters taking our white characters, you guys have done it for fucking 100 years, probably 100 years since cinema's been out. Look at Cleopatra and look at fucking Gods of Egypt. There you go. Fucking Chadwick Boseman was in the goddamn movie and wasn't even the main character.
Now, You know, it's it's funny you mentioned that because I actually did a review of that movie, and I did a review of that movie, and I told people the movie is great. Like I watched it from start to finish. There's never a time where you get lost in the story. Gerard Butler, whether he plays as a white character or a black character, he is just fucking dope.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, the lore, you know, just the ancient Egyptian fantasy lore and everything, it's just amazing all the time.
Oh yeah.
And that movie, even though they didn't have, you know, like Lucas Arts or Marvel doing it, it damn sure felt like that.
Yeah.
You know, like whoever was the director for this, they went all out, and you know, they put the special effects and everything, and it was really good. It was done very well.
They just cast the wrong people.
Right, exactly. And the number one problem that I tell people that I have all the time, Chadwick Boseman, before he became Black Panther, okay, he was the help. And he was the help in that movie, because in that movie he plays as the ancient god Thoth. So in the movie, they have to answer a Sphinx riddle, and if they get it wrong, they die. Right. So, you know, they go up to Thoth and they're like, you know, we need your help. Can you help us? And you know, Chadwick Boseman, him being Thoth, he's like all condescending, you know, like, I am not going to help underlings like you. You have to figure it out on your own. You know, like he had the whole pompous asshole role down to a science. So it was like, okay, cool. So he, you know, him seeing the main character, the main white character, he had an orgasm. He was like, you know, by the heavens, you are so intelligent. You know, how is this possible? I must study you. And it turned into a worship fest. So you have this one white guy who's just standing there, and Thoth, who is supposed to be the god of intelligence, okay, he is worshiping the shit out of this character. Like, it was bad, man. I'm like, damn, who's the bitch here? You know, like, it was bad. Jesus, I can't believe they did this to him. Like, you better give him the Black Panther role so he can redeem himself. If not, oh boy, that is quite a stain on his career, man.
Thank God he got cast as fucking Black Panther. Jesus.
Yes, thank goodness, man.
But really for Captain America: Civil War, then it led into Black Panther. But
well, yeah, you know, my man's like, well, they killed my father. I don't care. I'm gonna get them back. Blah blah blah. and then you know, in the end of Black Panther, you know, Bucky was getting black buns. But you know, we're not gonna.
That's the end of it.
Right. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, no, it is. My man was just chilling in Wakanda. He ain't care. Like, I don't even want to go back.
Right, exactly. I'm just here getting black buns.
I'm not leaving.
Right. So yeah, man, I'm happy that, you know, he got cast that role. I'm not even, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not even really a fan of Black Panther like that, like how everybody else is.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that Black Panther, it made $1 billion. It had a lot of people in the industry see that Black people really do care about their image and about how they're represented. And if you do right by us, we will come out in droves. We will throw money at you. We'll throw money at you, and man, like, we will rep your shit harder than Japanese people representing Germans. I mean, once Black Panther came out, man,
Like they saw right there, $1 billion. Yo, the movie made $1 billion.
It made $1 billion just off of black people coming out to see it. Never mind the white audience. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, yeah, they had their little millions here and there, but nah. Black people was like, nah, we're putting hundreds of millions into this shit. And people even told me, they were like, I like that movie so much, I'm seeing it again and again and again and again.
Yes.
You know? And when I did see the movie, I was like, damn, this is really good. You know, I knew it was going to be good, but it was way better than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So, you know, once that movie came out, man, everybody and their fucking mother were taking their hands and putting them crossed by their chest and saying Wakanda forever like a motherfucker. It's so influential. In the game World of Warcraft, they have a race that does that shit, but they don't call them Wakandans. They call them Zandalari. So it's like trolls, like African trolls. Yo, but it's dope though. It's really cool, you know? And like when they're talking to you and shit, they be like, "Oh, Zandalar forever," you know, and shit like that. And everybody knows. Everybody's like, "Yeah, you got that from Black Panther," and it's so blatant. It is so blatant, and they don't even try to hide it because that's how dope Black Panther was, you know. So I'm happy.
Definitely a benchmark,
right? You know, so I'm happy. Movies like that came out and they raised the bar for everybody. You know,
like it showed like we don't just have to be the friend on the side,
right? The sidekick.
Yeah, exactly. There was more layers to it. I was
worried. I was worried what they was going to do with M'Baku because
but I already knew they was going to scale that back because Ryan Coogler, they did an interview with Ryan Coogler. I believe IGN did it. And he said, I will not be calling him Man-Ape.
Right, exactly. Like, yo, listen, if they were going to call him Man-Ape, it's like, okay, we're done here. Get up out the chair, take your drink, hurl it. Listen, take your drink, aim it, set your arms 65 degrees, hurl that shit to the fucking screen. Middle fingers up. Fuck you, Marvel. Exit.
And get out.
Stage left. Okay.
But I think Ryan Coogler takes it very seriously.
Right.
Because I know it was going to be dope when I saw Creed.
Right. Exactly.
How serious he took that.
Right. You know, so him being Killmonger, you know, he was a dope character. I just didn't like the end result, but you know, that's another topic for another time. But
my opinion, you had to kill someone like that though. You have to.
Well, no, my thing was it's not him being killed off. I mean, they're saying, oh, they could probably bring him back or whatever. There's ways they could do it, but my thing was his objective was really like jaded. You know, where he was like, oh, he wants to take this Wakandan technology and he wants to give it out to all of the black people so that way everybody can shine. And what Killmonger doesn't understand, black people in that modern time, in this current modern time, most black people have an issue called Anglophilia. They will look at that technology and they'll go right to the next white person and say, okay, boss, here's a technology, boss. Now, can you pat me on the head?
No.
You know, right. And they'd be like, well, I would pat you on the head, but I don't want to get your blackness onto my, perfect skin. You know, some shit like that. But they'll say some shit like that.
That was so Dave Chappelle right there.
Excuse me one moment. Johnson, can you come over here, please? but my thing is, like, Killmonger did not understand that. So he would end up just giving that technology to a black person who would then give it to the rest of the world, because black people are really dumb when it comes to trading off technology and shit. And
you gotta keep that shit to yourself sometimes.
Oh, nah, we ain't doing that.
That shit up to yourself.
Right. But yeah, it's best to be kept to yourself. Killmonger didn't understand that. And then the thing, that he said right before he died, where he was like, he would rather die. He would rather be tossed into the sea with his ancestors, because they knew that it is better to die, than to be a slave of bondage. That is the most stupid statement I have ever heard, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but if his ancestors chose to be tossed over and chose to die instead of living in bondage, he wouldn't be here.
Well, yeah, because technically his mother was from America and the father was from Wakanda.
Right.
So there you go.
And even,
there goes that logic.
And even look, you want to take it back to the slave times? All right, fine. You wanna let's salt these bodies and toss them into the lake, or toss them into the sea for the sharks to eat.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. The carnage that your ancestors had to survive, the forced breeding and the mutilations and things like that eventually got you here. If they chose to die and be salted and be thrown into the sea, you wouldn't exist. So
now, if he was talking about like how, we'll take an example of American Gods when Anansi got on the boat,
right,
and went buck crazy.
right, exactly.
That's different.
Exactly, that's different. Very different. But
because they went down swinging.
Right.
You just died.
Right.
Pretty much.
Exactly. So I mean, I understand what he's trying to say, and I understand that he's trying to come in a position of strength. I get it. That's just not what happened right there. That's not what happened when he was fighting T'Challa.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't what was happening. So nothing against Ryan Coogler. Awesome fucking director. Okay.
Absolutely.
But he just needs to find something better for that particular situation in regards to Killmonger.
Definitely.
But like I said, nothing against him. Everything else about the movie I absolutely loved. Just those couple of parts I was like, okay, that's a problem. But I'm cool with it.
Yeah, man. I'll ask this. How soon do you see in just the gaming industry in general, how soon do you think our representation will be boosted up or more put more to the forefront?
Well, you can't rush greatness. I know that you have a lot of people, myself included, like, we're out there, we're trying to make greatness, and it takes time. As you can see, people are approaching, black individuals, black communities and everything, we're approaching it from the story aspect. You'll have your black characters that can fight and throw Dragon Ball Kamehamehas and shit like that. And yes, I am waving my hands all over the place while I'm talking to you and doing this. But we're all approaching this from the story aspect, because you have a lot of black artists. They have something to prove. Mm-hmm. And what they're trying to prove is what we were saying earlier. Like, we're not the fucking help. We're not that athlete. We're not, that thug that wants to rob everybody and, burn down his community. We're not like that. We we're capable of very sophisticated situations. It doesn't always have to involve, oh, well, this is my baby mom's and I love her sister on the side. You know, like we're we're a lot more sophisticated than that.
Yes.
So me personally, I'm going to give it about between 5 to 10 more years, just because you have a lot of, black artists, black writers, black producers. They're really taking their creations and they're putting them under the microscope. And they're like, okay, so I have this dope character, myself included. I have this dope character. Why is this character here? How does this character represent my people? How am I going to put this character into a position of strength while at the same time giving them conflict and putting them through the hero's journey? Because the hero's journey is basically like the science of you start from nothing and you struggle and you fight your way to the top and you become greatness. So, we're asking these questions. Why is the enemy? Why is the antagonist here? What drives them? What makes them hate or want to, get rid of the protagonist?
And not the whole one-dimensional, I just want to blow up the world because I want to blow up the world.
Right. Oh, I want to blow up the world because I didn't get a hug when I was a kid, and growing up as a teenager, I was getting bullied, and the girls didn't sleep with me, and they slept with Raheem because he had a 12 gauge shotgun under his jacket, and I'm angry, so I learned the power to throw kamehamehas. I'm gonna blow up the world. There, like what? So
gotta be more layered than that, buddy.
Right. So there's a lot going on. Now that doesn't mean there can't be jealousy or there can't be hatred or anything like that. I mean, yeah, you can put those in there. But
real earned hatred, like real earned hatred and jealousy.
Right. Like, for protagonists and antagonists,
Yes.
like there's layers and there's depth behind why characters do what they do. And so you'll have black writers, artists, and everything like that. You'll have them approaching their own characters and they're saying, how can my people relate to this character? And if that can't be done, there'll be alterations, there'll be scraps and everything like that. These things, they take time. So I give it about between 5 to 10 more years. And that's just in terms of getting the stories out, in terms of making sure that these stories are not making fun of the black experience.
Yes.
Like people will look at something like Black Jesus, and they'll say, oh, it's a disgrace and everything like that. And upon first glance, I can see where they're coming from, but when you look at it deeper than that, and you see like what Aaron Magruder was trying to tell in terms of that story.
Yes.
It's way more sophisticated than what it looks like on the surface. So I mean, not that. Go on ahead.
I think a lot of people also feel, and I have conversations about this. Like, and some people feel like this about the Boondocks. They feel it makes fun of Black culture, and I'm like, it's kind of the point, because it's not doing it to be derogatory. It's doing it to awaken you. Like,
right.
Like these are fucking legit problems.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And you have like, okay, let's look at the Boondocks under a microscope, right? Yeah. And you look at the difference between Huey and Riley. And
yes.
even though they're so completely different characters, the Black experience is what keeps them together. So yes. you'll have Riley where he does not like that Huey is like a freedom fighter, and you'll have Huey who doesn't like that Riley is a fucking hood rat. And but when you see how white America treats black people, they can come together and they be like, you know what? I understand why you're ratchet. I understand why you're a freedom fighter. Let me have my freedom fighter moment, and this is coming from Riley, and then Huey is like, yeah, and I'm gonna have my hood rat moment. So
Yeah.
It's tools of the trade, you know. It's like, okay, these are the times when we need to get turned the fuck up, and we need to put some people into the fucking dirt, and you know, that's it. You know, like when Huey when Huey had that kickball game where he was fighting the Asian girl.
The spoof of Shaolin Soccer.
Yes. so you know, on the low, they're laughing at him, they're making fun of him, but little did they know he's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I can speak your language, dumbass.
Yep.
You know, so it has very compelling points to the story. At the same time, when you have black people talking about how, oh, it's making fun of the black experience and everything like that, like you said, like we as black people, we have to realize, yo, we come from a history of problems. All right, you know, African Americans, we come from a history of slavery and Jim Crow, redlining, wage gaps and things like that. So, you know, we come from a fundamentally broken and lethargic way of life. And for quite some time, our speakers, our leaders, those that represent what we know is wrong, but we can't put our finger on it, or we're too timid to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening is we'll have our black leaders and everything, they start talking, and then they get killed. And that does two things. One, it furthers along the lethargy, where you know, black people's like, well, you know, this is just the way it is. When we try to speak, we get killed. So, you know, let's just vote.
You get more timid.
Right. You know, so let's just vote Democrat and keep quiet.
Yeah.
Or the second thing that happens, we become a little bit more wiser in terms of how we're going to say our message. Yes. And you'll have a show like Boondocks. Matter of fact, before it was even a show, you know, Aaron Magruder, he was doing this,
comic strip.
Right, in the comic strips. You know, I would have never learned about the Boondocks if I didn't read the daily newspaper. You know, New York City daily newspaper. And I found it by accident. And, you know, I mean, you'll have a few funny, you know, comic skits in there. Mm-hmm. But when I read the Boondocks comic skit, I was like, damn, it's like it's talking directly to me. Like what they're talking about, they are sharing my message.
Yes.
You know? So when it became
which is rare for a newspaper comic strip.
Right, exactly. So when it basically like communicated with a black audience just from reading, that was very powerful, because for a while, you know, other audiences didn't believe that we read. Like as crazy as that sounds, you know, like the audience didn't believe, wow, black people know how to read. What is this? You know, so it became a cartoon, and you had an all-star cast, you know.
Oh man.
And
perfectly cast.
Right. And everybody nailed their role, you know. So you have the issue,
Regina King.
Right. Well, I mean, not just the actors, but like the characters. Like, you know, you'll have lighter skin characters, dark skin characters, and we have those discussions. Damn, you know, you light skin, you siding with the white man or what? You know, like that type of thing. And
that stuff exists,
right?
It exists,
and exactly, and like you know, whites, some blacks, people of different ethnicities and whatnot, like they don't believe we have these discussions with each other.
Yes.
But it totally happens. It's totally out there. And I mean, that's not to say that it's ever gotten to the point where it's like violence, where it's like, oh, I want to kill you because you're like this, you're like that. But it has brought up heated arguments. So, you know, even representation in regards to that, like, the lawyer, I forget his name, Dubois. Tom Dubois.
Tom Dubois.
You know,
and his mixed daughter.
His mixed daughter, his white wife. You know, so it's like, you sit there and you're like, damn.
Who his mixed daughter can't identify with anybody, which is a real thing that happens,
right,
in the Black community.
Right, exactly. She can't identify with anybody. His white wife, like, she's aware of what's going on, but she's like, look, it is what it is. You know,
like she tries to ignore it. She puts her damn head in the sand.
Right, exactly,
100%,
exactly. You know, and Tom has his moments. Okay.
Yes.
He will have proper decorum. He will have proper command of the English language. And for the most part, he doesn't want to fight. He will choose peace 9 times out of 10. But then,
you know what I feel?
What's up?
Tom is the Carlton character of that show.
Yes. Right. You'll have Carlton characters, you'll have Steve Urkel characters, you know, like they have the struggle in terms of meshing well with the rest of Black society. But even with that, they still, you know, like they still have like their core principles and they have their scruples in regards to being Black. And every now and again, you'll have it where they need to get the fucking turned up. And, you know, it's always like a wonderful thing to see. You know, Carlton, for example, telling other Black people, you know, like, yo, like, I'm living the same life as you. Like, just because I'm rich and you're poor doesn't change that I also get stopped by cops and you know, shit like that. Urkel, same thing, but, you know, he has his intellect where he can, like, invent things. And Urkel was representing a lot of the Black culture that told people, listen, just because you're a nerd doesn't mean you need to be ostracized.
Yeah.
You know? And as for Tom, when Stinkmeaner got into his body, and he got turned all the way up. And I'm like, God damn. Tom went from being like the worst character to like the best character in one episode. So
that is great. Great, yeah.
Like I still have the vision. I still have the vision of him changing.
In the sink meter?
Yes. What you say? Like his face, the way he morphed, like I still have it in my head. It is burnt into my brain so vividly. And I
enjoyed the sink meter episode.
Right. Yes, exactly. So I mean, you know, things like that. It's important, you know. Yes. When people say, "Oh, you know, they're making fun of the Black experience," to a degree, you know. But if they're making fun of it, it's because the majority of it is true. Like stereotypes don't just come out of nowhere. Yeah, you know. So we need to talk about it. And Aaron Magruder, in this case, he spoke about it to the point where sometimes it made people laugh. Other times it made people cry. Like the episode about not snitching and how it proved, you know, by you, quote unquote, not snitching, you end up getting fucked up anyway. So, you know, that. Right.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Exactly. So. And then the most fucking controversial episode, the Martin Luther King episode.
I think that is the best episode of the book.
I agree.
The best.
At the end of that episode, I stood up and clapped because I think
everybody did.
Oh no,
everybody did.
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
It was listen. There was black people that was
Al Sharpton's chucking ass.
Right.
Complained about it. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
You show up for the money. Like, get the fuck
exactly. you had people who were like, they were seething with anger, and what they didn't realize
that dropped the N-bomb.
No, just the message, that he was saying. I love that message so much. I'm pretty sure I can recite it. He said, let me see. And you don't want to be an N because, shit. N's are living contradictions and are full of unfulfilled ambitions. N's watching Wayne. N's love to complain. N's love to hear themselves talk but hate to explain. N's love to be another man's judge and jury. N's procrastinate until it's time to worry. N's love to be late. N's hate to hurry. So when he was saying that, Aaron Magruder had that actor talking directly to the viewer. And
which is Fire Leo, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Fire Leo and Hope Davidson.
Right.
That's who that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Richardson, I think his name is.
Davidson's in the house. I didn't know Fire Leo was that was the actor, but hey, perfect. I mean,
man.
Even the voice of when MLK was calm and everything like that.
Oh yeah,
it was
man.
perfect. I'm like, damn, this sounds just like him, So when he said black entertainment television is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Usher, Michael Jackson is not a genre of music. And now I want to talk about Soul Plane. I've seen what's around the corner. I've seen what's over the horizon. And I promise you, you N's have nothing to celebrate. And no, I won't get there with you. I'm going to Canada. That was a mic drop, man.
Right there. Hey, man, you saw they wild out at the end.
Right. They wild out, and then people started wilding out in real life. It was so serious. It was such a serious episode. Sony had to take that episode down.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and
when it was so good.
Right. When you can make an impact like that from a cartoon, like, okay, you've done your job. Okay? Like, you win. You hit the nail right on the head. And listen, people, they're gonna need to wake up. And sometimes those messages of waking people up is not going to be pleasant. Some people, they're gonna need to look in the mirror and be like, look, I'm behaving like an N or I am an N. And I don't want to be this way. When it comes to black women, it's like, I don't want to live the stereotype of being, a woman that has 5 children by 6 different fathers. Right?
Wait, you gotta come from.
Right. And yes, I said it right the first time. 5 different children by 6 different fathers. So
which is portrayed in a goddamn Tyler Perry movie.
right,
Oof,
you know. So
oof. But let me not get on that. Let me not get on that
right,
soapbox.
exactly. They have to look in the mirror and say, I don't want to be that woman. I don't want to be the woman that talks about Black Power, but then at the same time is at the Section 8 office telling the white man to give me a handout. I don't want to be that woman that when things don't work out between me and my baby father, I look at my child and talk about how much I hate my child because he or she looks so
Reminds
much
me.
like him.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that woman that
chooses the man
right
over
chooses
her
the
children.
man over the children, even though the children the daughter is crying that the man that I'm currently with is sexually molesting her, and I don't want to believe it, so I'm going to kick her out. You know?
It happens.
And then on the man's side, he has to look in the mirror and he has to be like, I don't want to be that guy that is standing outside in the corner at 5 o'clock in the morning throwing dice up to against a fucking wall.
CeeLo is a respectable game, man.
Wait, what?
Respect the game. CeeLo is a respectable game.
CeeLo gets our brothers killed. Okay.
I know
exactly.
Brother.
Exactly.
I know.
All right. CeeLo gets black men killed. All right.
He's been doing it since forever.
Like, motherfucker, you rolled a 5 and you put the money on a 7. Pay up. Oh, you don't want to pay up? Dong, 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 dong. And it's like, okay, there we go. Exactly. Right? So I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that guy that I'm working a minimum wage 9 to 5 and I have nothing to show for it because all of my money is going towards child support. I don't want to be that guy that's always getting stopped by the police because, you know, I'm always fitting the description of someone that got robbed tonight. You know, I don't want to be that guy that, even though I understand that everything is wrong, I can't approach it because I'm in a position of weakness. So, you know, it was a wake-up call. It caused people to be angry. It caused people to emotionally lash out. And that's good. At least that lets people know that as ghetto and ratchet and unruly as black people can be at times, there's still a pulse.
Yes.
You know, and that pulse basically, like, you have it where they care. Like, black people, they care a great deal, but they're not going to care if nobody is talking about the message that needs to be had. So in Aaron Magruder's case, that was a message that had to be expressed. It was delivered perfectly, and it got black people of all various statures involved, and it got television executives involved. It got different artists involved, and it was one of the rare few times in which watching television was no longer a one-way conversation, because people who saw that episode, they responded back. They responded back with love. They responded back with hate. They responded back with anger. They responded back with fear. But it all told the message that there's a pulse. They all saw that there's a problem. They all saw that it was addressed, and they all agreed that we, as a people, we have to do better. And one of the things that made it so important of that very episode was the fact that we, as black people, will no longer tolerate the misrepresentation of who we are.
Yes.
So, you know, like I said, Aaron Magruder had that episode, you know, and arranged it perfectly.
He knew what he was doing. He definitely knew what
he
he was
knew
doing.
what he was doing, and he knew exactly who this message was going to talk to, and everybody else, like, if you didn't get it, it wasn't for you.
There you go.
So we're going to have more conversations like that, but it takes time.
Yeah.
I know that Aaron Magruder, he had the opportunity to sit down and really think, like, what do I want to tell people when this is on the air?
And that was in season 2, right?
That was
if
season
I'm not
1.
Mistaken. Was that Martin Luther King season 1?
Mm-hmm. That was season 1.
Oh man.
That's how dope it was.
Oh man. I could have sworn that was season, because sometimes the second season has that one episode that just trumps up, that is the magnum opus of the whole series.
Right. Well,
like for Dave Chappelle, it was the fucking Rick James episode.
Really?
I don't think it was.
I mean, listen, it was funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was
absolutely.
It was hilarious, but I think the episode, like, I think the message, like, episode was the chicken and FUBU episode.
Yes.
Because the
is that the black reparations episode?
The black reparations. I'm rich, bitch. That
Mm-hmm.
that episode, because there was a quick message that was thrown, and every black person got it. And
yes.
that was when the white anchorman, he was saying, oh man, this is so unprecedented. We have all of these blacks, they got their reparations money, and they're spending it on chicken, and they're spending it on FUBU. I mean, it's so amazing. We gave them so much money, and they're so eager to give it right back to us. And when he said that, everybody's laughing, ha 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 ha. Once he gave that punchline, oh, they're giving the money right back to us, everybody booed. They like the laughing stopped, like an immediate cutoff, and this is in front of a live audience, mind you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The laughing stopped cold, and then the boos came in, and I'm like, holy shit, that is a brave thing to say, but it's so true. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, damn, it was so quick. It was a blink and you'll miss it type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But black people got it. They got it immediately.
Real quick.
So
real quick.
So,
but the laughing to just like dead stop and to turn the boos that quick.
Right. Because people understood what it was about. It reminds me of there's a few shows that had like blink and you'll miss it issues or punchlines and things like that. I shared it on my Facebook, where basically the show In Living Color, and I know what I'm talking about, I'm like dating myself right now. But
Kids, A Living Color was like the black SNL.
Right, exactly. So, In Living Color was a Black Saturday Night Live, and you had a lot of people who got their start from there. One of them being Jim Carrey, and
Jamie Foxx,
Jennifer Lopez, and a bunch of others. So, Tommy Davidson, he played as Michael Jackson. And he was singing the song Black or White. Yes.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
And
but he reacted the part where at the end of the video, Michael Jackson was like breaking the cars and
and then a police officer came up, and Michael Jackson said, "Officer, I gotta ask you a question. Am I black or am I white?" And the officer
before we get into this, the thing is, everybody should know, at this time, Michael Jackson was turning like real white.
Right. He was turning Caucasian. So So Michael asks him, he's like, "Officer, I must know, am I black or am I white?" And the officer says, "You are under arrest." And he starts arresting Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson says, "What? What? I guess I really am black." And when he said that, once again, there was laughter. Once he made the punchline, the laughter stopped. The crowd booed. Because once again,
they got it.
right, there's truth in them words, you know?
Yep.
And listen, that's not the only show. Married with Children also had a laughter, pause, boos.
Yep. Oh, plenty. I'm sure they had plenty of those.
They had plenty, but this one was like, wow. Like when they said this, I'm surprised they didn't get taken off the air. So what happened was, what ended up happening was, Peg, you know, Married with Children, Peg, Al, you know, Kelly Bundy, Bud Bundy. Again, I'm dating myself. So they go over to Marcy's house, and they're supposed to like entertain some people and like the village. What are they called? The village people or whatever, you know, the guys that sing YMCA. They were supposed to come over and they were supposed to sing it, right? So Al said something like, "Oh, I wish I was dead," or something like that. And and Def came up to him, and Def came up to him dressed as Peg. So, you know, Al is like, "Wow, you would come up to me dressed as the person I hate the most," you know. So you know, Def is like, "Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But you said you wish you was dead, so I'm gonna make a deal with you. I will let you live if your family says one time without your influence that they need you." So, you know, Al is like, "Oh, you know, my family needs me. They need me for a bunch of things." And throughout the majority of the episode, they wasn't saying why they needed him for it. They said they needed a bunch of other people. They said they needed this. They said they needed that. So the episode was almost over, and Def was about to like claim Al's soul. Now, what ended up happening was the people in Marcy's house, they got angry and they started throwing toilet paper at you know, Peg and all of them. So they threw toilet paper at the village people, and like the village people was running away. So Kelly and Bud, like they took the toilet paper and they was like, "Oh my God, is this the good stuff? You know who we need for this? We need Dad. We need Dad to tell us if this is good or not." And, you know, that was the ending of the episode where Def was like, "Oh, okay, so, you know, your family needs you." But in the middle of the episode, Def says, Al is sitting there. He is worried as hell. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." Def says, "Don't feel bad, Al. Everybody has their moments. I mean, look at Abraham Lincoln. When Abraham Lincoln, when it was his time to go, he said, fine, let's send them back to Africa." And again, there was laughter. The punchline was made. There was a pause. Boos. When Pegs as Def, when she said that, I was like, "Holy shit. I can't believe they let her say that on national television." Now, don't get me wrong, it's true. But I can't believe they let her say that.
To be fair, it was Fox, and they didn't give a fuck at that time.
Yeah, they really didn't give a fuck. I mean, they did not give a shit at all.
It was like, I felt like they was the first ones that had like just damn and ass, and
it probably was. Like, it was probably a ratings grab. It worked, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah,
'Cause
man.
they definitely pushed the envelope.
Yes, they did. You know, so there are several episodes like that. But going back on track to what we was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to have more conversations like that, like where it's going to be, I'm going to talk to you, and I want your response. I don't want this television show, or I don't want this artwork or this story to be a one-way conversation. You know, I want your response. I want to have dialogue with you. I want to have characters that represent who we are. And it's important, you know, especially because our experience is so unique.
Definitely.
So it's going to take some time to get to, you know, where we are with Boondocks and In Living Color, Dave Chappelle, and things like that. Not just, you know, and Get Out. The movie Get Out as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
that definitely sparked a big conversation.
right. That sparked a big conversation. Um, the Django Unchained sparked
Yes.
a big conversation. This movie, at first, it didn't spark a big conversation, but like as people looked at the parallels, it was like, oh yeah, I agree. Lakeview Terrace, where Samuel L. Jackson is a corrupt cop, and
Yes.
and he was, you know, like some new neighbors moved in. It was an interracial couple.
And he was harassing them.
Right, and exactly, he was harassing them, and you know, it's a thriller. So, and the selling point of Lakeview Terrace, it was like, what's more safer than living next to a cop? And
No.
and like what the movie did was it showed that's like the worst thing to happen, you know, because he can call other cops and they can make your life a fucking living hell. And that's what he was doing, you know? So we need more discussion like that, and we need to be unapologetic about it. You know? And
we're a little too PC for our own good now.
Right, exactly. We're so PC about this shit, and it's like that's not where we come from. Like
at all.
Like
at all.
We come from rising above a fucking centuries of debauchery and like chaos, man. I can't even put my finger on it. But
I want you to think about this. Comedians are afraid to tell jokes because they're afraid that they're going to get canceled.
Right.
This cancel culture.
Right.
Crap.
This cancel culture is so ridiculous. It's like, listen, you can't just cancel comedians like that. You know, oh, they're going to hurt my feelings. Oh, you know, they're going to offend me. This is what comedians do. If you're offended, then that's all the more reason for you to fix your ass. You know? But unfortunately,
because like you said, and the joke is the truth.
Right. But unfortunately, you have a lot of people, they're not ready for those type of conversations.
No.
So, you know, you have a lot of comedians, bless their heart, but unless your name is Dave Chappelle, like they're not,
Bill Burr
or Bill Burr, they're not really giving a lot of people a pass. So, you know, a lot of comedians, like their expressions and their voices aren't being heard when they absolutely need to be, you know.
I feel like I do it with Kevin Hart, but like he was like, "Fuck y'all, I don't care."
Well, yeah. After the whole Tiffany Haddish situation, he was like, "Fuck this, I'm done."
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what it is right now. We need to have this conversation a lot more. And through this, it would improve our representation because we'll begin to figure out who we are, what is it that we want. You know, we'll be able to refine that message, and it would improve. Excuse me. It would improve in movies. It would improve in artwork. And going back to why we're even having this discussion, it would improve in video games.
Definitely. And not just in video games, like in all aspects, like to video games, media,
Right.
everything, just everything.
Right, of course. So
even in writing in general, like you don't see many. I haven't heard many black writers, even in movies and television shows.
right. Yeah, you're not really gonna see that, because that's not to say that they're not out there, because they definitely are, like Viola Davis and whatnot. But the thing is, they don't get the spotlight as much as they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is, well, people just see the actor and they focus upon that, or they'll hear of the producer and they'll focus on that. They won't really put focus on the writer unless the writer makes a brand out of himself. So you look at Stephen King, and like his books will get movie adaptations, but they always make it their business to let you know, oh, this is from Stephen King.
Yeah.
It and its remake, this is from Stephen King. The Stand is from Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Right. So
Dark Tower, Stephen King.
Right. Exactly. Or in terms of video games, the Tom Clancy series.
Yes.
Yes. Before he passed away, they were taking a lot of Tom Clancy IPs, novels and whatnot, and they were just turning them into video games. And, they were making sleeper hits.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Same thing with, people haven't experienced it yet, but the Cyberpunk book, that's a video game.
The Witcher.
The Witcher, yep. So it's there's definitely room for it, but you have to start making a brand out of yourself. And and from there, hopefully, you'll get better better representation.
Yeah, brand identity is very important. I feel we don't try to establish our brand enough.
The reason why is because we don't understand what it is. And you know what? Let me take that back. We did not understand what it was back then. But now that we do, we have to make new stories, new characters, new scenarios. We're starting from scratch. We're coming up with new content, and it's a risk because we can't use the old content that we originally had, because we sold that off. We sold it off, and in order to buy it back, we have to buy it back at 10 times what we sold it for. So that's not happening. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like I know we had this conversation a while back. I think it's me, you, and Colleen. We talked about it on Facebook about God of War, how it went to Norse mythology. But they could have easily I feel like the slam dunk would have been Egyptian, or use the Orishas,
right?
Which no one has heard of.
Right.
You're introducing a brand new concept.
Right. Greece and Egypt are not far apart. So
there you go.
Right. So like in God of War for PS4, what was his name? The guy that you had to kill.
Boulder.
Was it Boulder?
You're talking about the dude that kept like following you and you couldn't kill him?
Right, and you couldn't kill him. He even says it in the game. He's like, "You're not Norse. You're a Greek. Get the fuck out of here." Like he just flat out said it. I'm like, damn. And then his son is like, "Father, what are you talking about?" And Kratos is like, "Shut up, boy."
100% fact. 100%
So,
fact.
so, so, it was like one of those truth revealers. It's like, man, stop trying to hide who you are. You are not one of us. You are from over there with the Greeks.
And
you're over here because you killed everybody.
Pretty much. This is exactly what happened.
There's no one else left for you to kill over here. I mean, over there. So you're over here now.
Get out.
Exactly. Go away.
and see, I like to see that dynamic, especially with the Orishas. That dynamic would have been amazing.
I agree.
Have him fight Shango? What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Ogun.
So it's like, there's a lot of ground to cover there. The only problem is that all depends on if the creator or the producer wants to go in that direction. We can't hope and pray for something like that because, we don't have the power or influence to make something like that happen. And that's why we're creating our own original content.
Yeah, and we have to at this point.
And, let's support it as much as we can and hope for the best. and hopefully we won't have any Nippon moments.
No. I hope not. No. I hope not.
We we won't have any black anime characters behaving, Japanese like. And
Ichiban.
Huh?
Ichiban.
Yeah, right. We won't have we won't have the typical darker than black, big lipped,
stereotypical
Dumbo eared black people in cartoons and stories
where they draw us looking like a fucking buffoons.
Right. But at the same time, like, if we don't want that when other people of different ethnicities do it, we also have to not want that when we do it to ourselves.
Yes.
So like you look at nothing against her, I don't hate her or anything, but you look at Nicki Minaj and
yes.
when she was on the scene, everybody was talking about her ass, so you had a lot of people saying, what is she, Sarah Bartman? And a lot of people didn't understand what that meant, but it's a very derogatory term. And only black people who did their homework on Sarah Bartman would understand that. Yes. And I think also Nicki Minaj also discussed that. She's like, she's not going to be in the spotlight as much as she used to be because she kept getting compared to that so much, and it's a very hurtful thing. And then,
well, she better stop hanging out with Tekashi.
Right. So, I don't even want to talk about that dude.
Let's not.
I don't even want to talk about that.
That's like talking about Soulja Boy trying to sell a console. They getting sued by Nintendo.
Oh Jesus! I heard about that.
Ooh.
Once again, this is what I'm talking about. Like we don't understand what the hell we're doing at times. Like, my man, you gonna sell a console that has Nintendo games on it? Wow.
Yo, you must not pay attention.
Nintendo, they are going to come up to you. They're gonna be like, "Oh, black man, run your pockets, yeah." Sure enough, run your fucking pockets.
Pockets, yep.
Okay.
They don't play that shit.
Or as they say in the PlayStation Grand Theft Auto 1, give me your wallet.
They don't fucking play. That one of their characters is named out off of their lawyer.
Right.
Fucking Kirby.
Nintendo does not fuck around. Okay.
Fucking Kirby.
So I wouldn't do it, man.
Don't do it. Don't play yourself.
Soldier Boy, we're gonna watch you lean and RoboCop your way to bankruptcy. So you better you better have several seats, dude. You better calm down, man. Otherwise, well, you're gonna be Super Hot Fire's next guest all over again.
Oh man, this is such a fun episode though. But
oh yes, I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I didn't say the N-word once, so that's great.
Oh man, oh yeah. Oh man, that's perfect.
Man, you gotta bring me back on, like when you have other guests and whatnot, and like we just go ham. We just like paint the damn town red, man.
I definitely want to get you on when I get Bowser back on here.
Oh, it's gonna
be insane. Oh. Yo, these guys don't know.
They don't.
Get Reggie on here too. Oh man,
get me, you, Reggie, Bowser, the twins.
Oh man,
it will be insane. They're gonna be like, oh my god, these guys.
You guys are killing us.
Right. Call 911. Call 911. Like, what's the emergency? What's the emergency? Nothing. I just need you to go to their house and, fear for your life. Okay, I'm done.
But Jermaine, man, good to have you on. Tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at J.A. Clarke Life. That's JACLARKE LIFE. You can find me on there. I'm on there, not necessarily posting my own content, but like I'm just talking in general in other people's pages. But you'll find me there.
Do you have anything you want to plug or anything you're working on that you want to plug?
Not right now, but like I said, give me a few months. Once I have all of my stuff copywritten and trademarked, it's gonna be a wrap. I'll be able to like fully talk about what I'm working on, and hopefully when I'm back next time, I will be honored and happy to plug my content. But just follow me on Instagram and stay tuned.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Thank you once again. This was absolutely a fun episode, man. I had a bunch of fun. This is probably my longest episode.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to do this again. Just let me know what the topic is. I'm there.
All right, no problem, man. Thank you again. Thank you once again. I'll see you later.
All right, man. See you later. Take care, everybody.
Bye.